What if I told you that scientists have discovered exactly what separates people who die at 70 from those who thrive past 95? This is not guesswork. This is not wishful thinking. This is decades of research following hundreds of thousands of people to find out who lives longest and why. And here is what shocked the researchers most. The difference between a short life and an extraordinarily long one often comes down to what you do in the first hour after waking up. A landmark study from Harvard University tracked over 100,000 adults for more than 30 years. The researchers wanted to know why some people seem to age slowly, while others decline rapidly after 55. What they found changed everything we thought we knew about longevity. The participants who incorporated specific morning habits into their daily routine lived on average 12 to 14 years longer than those who did not. But that was just the beginning. When the researchers looked at people who combined multiple morning practices, the results became even more dramatic. Those who stacked 5 specific habits together showed a life expectancy increase of up to 40 years compared to those with the worst lifestyle patterns. 40 years. That is the difference between dying at 65 and celebrating your 105th birthday. A study published in the British Medical Journal examined over 500,000 adults and found that morning routines predicted longevity better than genetics in most cases. Your DNA accounts for only about 20 to 30% of how long you live. The rest comes down to daily choices, and the morning hours turn out to be the most critical window for making those choices count. Japanese researchers studying centenarians in Okinawa discovered that nearly all of them shared specific morning rituals. These were not complicated or expensive practices. They were simple, consistent habits that anyone could adopt. The centenarians did not have access to fancy supplements or cutting-edge medical treatments. They simply started each day the same way for decades. Another massive study from the European Society of Cardiology followed over 100,000 people and found that morning habits reduced cardiovascular mortality by up to 50%. Heart disease remains the #1 killer worldwide, yet something as simple as your morning routine can cut your risk in half. I'm going to share with you the 7 morning practices that science has proven extend life the most. I have ranked them from helpful to absolutely essential, but pay very close attention to #1 on this list. A 25-year study from Stanford University found that people who practiced this single morning habit had telomeres that appeared 10 years younger than their actual age. Telomeres are the protective caps on your chromosomes that determine biological aging. Longer telomeres mean slower aging at the cellular level. This one habit literally turns back your biological clock. Before we begin, let us know in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We read all comments, so drop your comments below. Now, let us start with morning habit number 7 and work our way up. Habit number 7, drinking warm lemon water upon waking. Let us start with something incredibly simple that creates a powerful foundation for longevity. Drinking warm lemon water first thing in the morning sets off a cascade of beneficial processes throughout your body. This practice has been studied extensively, and the results consistently show meaningful health improvements. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Biochemistry and Nutrition found that polyphenols in lemons significantly reduced weight gain and improved lipid metabolism in participants. The citric acid in lemons helps optimize digestion by stimulating the production of bile, which is essential for breaking down fats. When your digestive system works efficiently, your body can absorb nutrients better and eliminate waste more effectively. Both processes are fundamental to healthy aging. The vitamin C content in lemons provides another longevity benefit. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that higher vitamin C intake was associated with a 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Vitamin C also supports collagen production, which keeps your skin, blood vessels, and organs functioning properly as you age. The warm water component matters just as much as the lemon. Overnight, your body becomes dehydrated. Starting the day with warm water helps rehydrate your cells gently without shocking your system. A Japanese study found that participants who drank warm water in the morning had better circulation and more efficient cellular function throughout the day. The temperature helps dilate blood vessels, slightly improving blood flow to all your organs. Preparing this habit correctly maximizes the benefits. Squeeze half a fresh lemon into 8 to 12 ounces of warm water. The water should be comfortably warm, but not hot, because excessive heat can destroy some of the beneficial compounds in lemon. Drink this on an empty stomach at least 15 to 20 minutes before eating anything else. This allows the lemon water to pass through your digestive system and begin its work without interference from food. Some people add a pinch of Himalayan salt for additional minerals or a small amount of raw honey for taste. Both additions are acceptable, though the core benefits come from the lemon and water combination. Consistency matters more than perfection with this habit. Drinking lemon water every morning creates cumulative benefits that compound over months and years. Number 66, getting morning sunlight exposure. Now we move to something that costs nothing but delivers profound longevity benefits. Exposing yourself to natural sunlight within the first hour of waking regulates critical biological processes that determine how well you age. Modern indoor lifestyles have disconnected us from the natural light cycles our bodies evolved with, and the health consequences are significant. Research from the Salk Institute demonstrated that morning light exposure resets your circadian rhythm, which controls nearly every biological function in your body. Your circadian rhythm determines when hormones are released, when cells repair themselves, and when your immune system is most active. Disrupted circadian rhythms are linked to increased rates of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and neurodegenerative conditions. Morning sunlight is the most powerful signal for keeping this master clock properly calibrated. A study published in the journal Sleep found that people who got bright light exposure in the morning had better sleep quality, deeper restorative sleep cycles, and more stable mood throughout the day. Sleep quality directly impacts longevity because deep sleep is when your body repairs damaged cells, clears toxins from the brain, and consolidates memories. Poor sleep accelerates biological aging at the cellular level. Morning light ensures you get the restorative sleep your body needs each night. Vitamin D production represents another crucial benefit. Although midday sun produces the most vitamin D, morning exposure still contributes to your daily needs. Research from the British Medical Journal showed that vitamin D deficiency was associated with a 50% higher risk of early death from all causes. Vitamin D supports immune function, bone health, cardiovascular health, and even cognitive function. Many adults over 55 are deficient without knowing it. The practical application is straightforward. Spend 10 to 30 minutes outdoors within the first hour after waking. You do not need direct harsh sunlight. Even cloudy, bright conditions provide enough light to trigger the biological responses. Face toward the sky, but never stare directly at the sun. If you cannot get outside, the key is consistency. Your body responds to daily patterns. Sporadic light exposure does not produce the same benefits as regular morning routines. Some people combine this habit with gentle walking or stretching outdoors, which multiplies the benefits. Habit number 5, eating a protein-rich breakfast. Moving up our list, we reach a dietary habit that directly influences how your body ages at the molecular level. Consuming adequate protein in the morning prevents the muscle loss that accelerates aging and early death in adults over 55. This is not about bodybuilding. This is about maintaining the functional strength you need to live independently and avoid false fractures and frailty. Sarcopenia is the medical term for age-related muscle loss. Research published in the Journal of Gerontology found that adults lose 3 to 8% of their muscle mass per decade after 30. This loss accelerates dramatically after 55. Sarcopenia is now recognized as a primary driver of disability dependence and mortality in older adults. The good news is that dietary protein combined with activity can significantly slow or even reverse this process. A study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition specifically examined protein timing and found that morning protein consumption was more effective for muscle maintenance than the same amount of protein consumed later in the day. Your muscles are most responsive to protein synthesis signals in the morning hours following the overnight fast. Missing this window means missing the optimal opportunity to preserve and build muscle tissue. The amount matters as much as the timing. Research suggests adults over 55 needs approximately 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast to optimally stimulate muscle protein synthesis. Many people eat far less than this, often consuming carbohydrate-heavy breakfasts like toast cereal or pastries that provide minimal protein. The best protein sources for breakfast include eggs, which contain all essential amino acids, plus choline for brain health. Greek yogurt provides protein along with probiotics for gut health. Cottage cheese offers high protein with calcium for bone strength. For those who prefer plant sources, a combination of legumes, nuts, and seeds can achieve similar effects, though larger portions are typically needed. The key is to prioritize protein as the foundation of your morning meal rather than an afterthought. Preparing breakfast the night before makes this habit sustainable. Hard-boil eggs in advance. Keep Greek yogurt stocked in the refrigerator. Prepare overnight oats with added protein powder or nut butter. The barrier to most healthy habits is convenience. Removing friction makes consistency possible. Habit number 4, practicing morning stretching or yoga. We now enter the territory of habits that address multiple longevity factors simultaneously. Morning stretching or gentle yoga improves flexibility, reduces chronic pain, enhances circulation, and most importantly, reduces the systemic inflammation that drives nearly every age-related disease. The research supporting this practice is extensive and compelling. A study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society followed older adults who practiced morning stretching for 12 months. The participants showed significant improvements in balance reaction time and functional mobility. Falls are a leading cause of death and disability in adults over 55. Improved balance from regular stretching directly reduces this risk. The participants also reported less joint pain and greater ease in performing daily activities. Flexibility itself predicts longevity. Research published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that body flexibility was directly correlated with arterial flexibility. Stiff muscles often indicate stiff arteries. When your arteries are stiff, your heart works harder to pump blood, and your risk of cardiovascular events increases. Stretching helps maintain the elasticity of both muscles and blood vessels. The inflammation-reducing effect may be the most powerful benefit. A study from the University of California, Los Angeles, found that yoga practitioners had lower levels of inflammatory markers in their blood compared to non-practitioners. Chronic inflammation is now recognized as a root cause of heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and most other conditions that shorten life. Morning stretching helps keep inflammation in check. The practice itself should be gentle and consistent rather than intense and sporadic. Spend 10 to 15 minutes each morning moving through basic stretches for all major muscle groups. Focus on areas that feel tight or restricted. Hold each stretch for 30 seconds while breathing deeply. Never stretch to the point of pain. Discomfort is acceptable, but sharp pain indicates you are pushing too hard. For those interested in yoga, even simple sequences provide substantial benefits. Sun salutations take only 5 minutes and move the spine through its full range of motion. The combination of movement, breath work, and mindfulness creates benefits beyond pure physical stretching. 3. Engaging in habit 3, moderate morning exercise. Here is where we reach the truly powerful longevity interventions. Morning exercise has been studied more extensively than almost any other health behavior, and the conclusions are unanimous. Regular physical activity in the morning hours extends life significantly while improving virtually every measure of health. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed over 30,000 adults and found that those who exercised in the morning had a 20% lower risk of heart disease and a 40% lower risk of early death from any cause compared to non-exercisers. Morning exercisers also showed better adherence than those who planned to exercise later in the day. Life tends to interfere with afternoon and evening exercise plans. Morning exercise happens before those interruptions arise. The type of exercise matters less than consistency. Brisk walking provides most of the longevity benefits without requiring special equipment or gym memberships. A Harvard study found that just 21 minutes of daily walking reduced heart disease risk by 30%. Swimming, cycling, dancing, and gardening all count as moderate exercise. The key is elevating your heart rate and breathing rate for a sustained period. Research on intensity suggests moderate exercise may actually be better for longevity than intense exercise. A study from the European Heart Journal found that moderate exercisers lived longer than both sedentary individuals and extreme athletes. The sweet spot appears to be activities that make you breathe harder but still allow conversation. This level of intensity triggers beneficial adaptations without creating excessive stress on the body. The biological mechanisms are well understood. Exercise improves insulin sensitivity, which protects against diabetes. It reduces blood pressure and improves cholesterol profiles. It increases blood flow to the brain, which protects cognitive function. It strengthens bones, which prevents fractures. It releases endorphins, which improve mood and reduce depression. No medication in existence provides all these benefits simultaneously. Starting a morning exercise habit requires realistic expectations. Begin with just 10 minutes daily, regardless of the activity. Increase duration gradually by no more than 10% per week. The goal is a sustainable practice you maintain for decades, not an intense program you abandon after a few weeks. Habit number two, practicing mindfulness or meditation. We have reached the second most important morning habit for extending your life. Mindfulness and meditation have moved from spiritual practice to evidence-based medicine in the past 2 decades. The research on longevity benefits has become overwhelming and impossible for mainstream science to ignore. Meditation physically changes your brain and slows biological aging at the cellular level. Nobel Prize-winning research by Elizabeth Blackburn demonstrated that meditation directly affects telomere length. Telomeres are the protective caps on your chromosomes. When telomeres become too short, cells can no longer divide properly and begin to malfunction or die. Telomere shortening is a fundamental mechanism of aging. Blackburn's research showed that long-term meditators had telomeres that appeared significantly younger than their chronological age would predict. A study from the University of California, Davis followed meditators for 6 years and found that their tomes activity was substantially higher than non-meditators. Telomerase is the enzyme that repairs and lengthens telomeres. Higher telomerase activity means slower cellular aging. The meditators were literally aging more slowly at the molecular level. The cardiovascular benefits are equally impressive. Research published in the American Heart Association's journal Circulation found that meditation reduced heart attack, stroke, and death by 48% in high-risk patients. This reduction exceeds the benefits of most medications. The researchers attributed the effects to reduced stress hormones, improved blood pressure, and decreased inflammation. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, is particularly damaging when chronically elevated. Morning meditation helps reset cortisol levels and improve stress resilience throughout the day. Cognitive benefits extend into late life. A UCLA study found that long-term meditators at more grey matter in brain regions associated with emotional regulation and self-control. They also showed less age-related brain shrinkage. The brain normally loses volume with age, but meditation appears to protect against this loss. Maintaining cognitive function is essential for longevity, because dementia dramatically reduces both lifespan and quality of life. The practice itself is simpler than many people imagine. Sit comfortably in a quiet space. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, gently return attention to breathing. Start with just 5 minutes daily and gradually increase to 15 or 20 minutes. Guided meditation apps can help beginners develop the habit. The key is daily practice. Even short sessions provide benefits when performed consistently. Morning meditation sets a calm, focused tone for the entire day. Habit number 1: cultivating purpose and gratitude. We have arrived at the single most important morning habit for living a remarkably long life. This may surprise you because it is not physical. It does not involve diet or exercise. It is entirely mental and emotional. Yet the research supporting purpose and gratitude as longevity factors is among the strongest in the entire field of aging science. A major study published in German network Open followed nearly 7,000 adults over 50 for 5 years. The researchers measured each participant's sense of purpose in life. Those with the highest purpose scores had a 15% lower risk of death from any cause compared to those with low purpose scores. The protective effect remained significant even after controlling for depression, other psychological factors, and all major health behaviors. Purpose literally kept people alive regardless of their physical habits. Research from Rush University Medical Center found that people with high purpose in life had a substantially lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. The study followed over 900 older adults for 7 years. Those with the strongest sense of purpose were 2.4 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's than those with low purpose. The brain scans showed that purpose appeared to provide cognitive reserve that protected against neurodegenerative damage. Japanese researchers studying Okinawa centenarians identified ikigai as a central feature of their longevity. Ikigai translates roughly as reason for being, or that which makes life worth living. Virtually all Loin and centenarians could articulate their ikigai when asked. This sense of purpose got them out of bed each morning and kept them engaged with life even in an advanced old age. Gratitude operates through similar mechanisms. Research from the University of California, San Diego found that gratitude practice reduced inflammatory biomarkers in heart failure patients. Inflammation, as mentioned earlier, drives most age-related diseases. Gratitude shifts nervous system activity from stress response to relaxation response. This shift allows the body to repair and regenerate rather than remain in constant defensive mode. The morning is the ideal time to cultivate both purpose and gratitude. Upon waking, spend a few minutes reflecting on what gives your life meaning. This might be relationships, creative pursuits, service to others, learning and growth, or any number of purposes. Then identify 3 specific things you feel grateful for that day. Write them down if possible, because writing increases the psychological impact. These practices take only 5 minutes, but their effects ripple throughout the entire day. They influence your decisions, your interactions, and your emotional state. Over time, they reshape your neural pathways toward positivity and meaning. This is perhaps the easiest habit on this list, yet research suggests it may be the most powerful. Purpose and gratitude cost nothing, requires no equipment, and can be practiced anywhere by anyone. You now have 7 morning habits proven by science to extend life dramatically. Each one works independently, but their effects multiply when combined. People who practice several of these habits together show longevity improvements that seem almost impossible. The research is clear that 40 additional years of healthy life is achievable for those who start early enough and remain consistent. Begin tomorrow morning with whichever habit feels most accessible to you. Perhaps warm lemon water is the easiest starting point. Perhaps you are already interested in meditation and want to deepen that practice. Perhaps morning exercise appeals to your personality. The specific starting point matters less than actually beginning. Add 1 new habit each week, or 2, until you have built a complete morning routine. Your morning hours have always been valuable. Now you understand exactly how valuable they can be. What you do in the first 60 minutes after waking influences your health for the entire day and across your entire lifespan. These habits are not complicated. They are not expensive. They simply require consistency and commitment. The centenarians who lived past 100 did not have access to better genetics or secret medical treatments. They lived each day with purpose, practiced simple health habits consistently, and maintained positive connections with life. You can do the same starting tomorrow morning. Your future self will thank you for every healthy morning you create. If you could only add one of these 7 habits to your morning starting tomorrow, which would you choose and why? Drop your answer below, and let's see which habit our community finds most appealing. Now, we want to hear from you. What does your morning routine currently look like? And which of these 7 habits are you most excited to try first? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.